All right, we will go ahead and get started, and folks can catch up or watch the Zoom recording later. So, hello, welcome. My name is Liz Chen, and I'm joined today by Dan Gitterman and Melissa Edwards. And the three of us are leaders within the Graduate Certificate in Innovation for the Public Good. So you are here because you saw some sort of announcement inviting you to our 30-minute info session, and we will do our best to get you out of here at 5:30. So in terms of background, in 2020, myself and Melissa Carrier submitted an application for a brand new certificate called Innovation for the Public Good. And this was during the pandemic that we went through the application and approval process. And we had heard from grad students around campus, especially those that were outside of the business school, that they wanted and needed a way to learn skills and collaborative change making outside of the programs that are more STEM and business focused that do already offer some coursework in this space. So the three academic sponsors for this certificate include Gillings, the School of Global Public Health, the School of Education, and the Department of Public Policy. And in the original application back in 2020, we forecasted that in year 3, that we'd have 18 active and graduated students. And in fact, once we got to last academic year, we actually had 138 at the end of it. So that is far exceeding what we had ever hoped and dreamed for, which is quite exciting. And so we like to start with spotlighting some of our alums. The certificate is now in its 3rd, going on to the 4th year. And so want to just share where some of our alums have gotten to in their careers. And so first up, Emily Skywork is now the co-founder of Unlocked. And so after graduating with her MPH from Gillings, Emily worked for a boutique consultancy on innovation and design strategy. And then she led several projects and worked with CVS's team, looking to reimagine what the role of the pharmacy would look like in the 21st century before starting at Unlocked. And so they are a nonprofit organization looking to advance ADHD programming and care without medications for kids. And so that's through a lot of coaching and behavioral therapy, but without meds. And so that is what she is up to. Zach Whitkin is now the Senior Growth and Partnerships Manager at Y Labs. And so Y Labs is a global group that does design strategy work in a global health context. Macy is the strategy designer for the Department of Strategy and Innovation at Raleigh Municipal Government right now. And Munjari is a postdoc fellow at VCU's Da Vinci Center for Innovation. So she is responsible for doing innovation and design thinking research and also programming at that university. And according to a recent alumni survey, 100% of our alums report regularly using the CIPG skills that they gained in their jobs, which is great to hear. All right, so what kind of training does CIPG offer? So we've broken it into 4 buckets. So in the time that you're with us, some of you might be in your last 1 or 2 semesters, so you will get this condensed. Others of you are maybe starting a PhD journey, so you might be with us for 4 or 5 years. And so in that time, no matter how long you're with us, we commit that you will focus on human-centered design around voices, experiences, wishes, and aspirations of those affected by an innovation. Develop an understanding of your own experiences, strengths, motivations, and biases as change makers. Engage community in the co-design, implementation, evaluation, and adaptive learning methods associated with developing innovative solutions. And build and sustain inclusive collaborations that support innovation for the public good. So other basic questions: how do I earn the certificate? There are 2 sets of things that you'll need to do. First, you'll need to complete 9 credit hours worth of classes. And so there's a core course requirement in design thinking. So most students take HBEH or Policy 748 in the fall or in the spring. And there are other, there's at least 1 other course that we count towards that requirement as well. And then there's a menu of options for the elective courses. You'll have to take 3 credits in what we call innovation methods, tools, and best practices, and another 3 credits in social innovation and practice. And one of the other rules that we have in place is that you will need to take at least 3 of these credits outside of your home department or school. So for example, Gilling students, if you take the 748 design thinking course that's marked in health behavior, and you take a PubH course for your innovation methods, tools, and best practices, you will have to go outside of Gillings to fulfill that remaining 3 credits for the social innovation and practice. And in addition to coursework, there are co-curricular events and opportunities, some of which are required. And so we do have a community of practice. And so every year that you are a part of the certificate, it's required that you attend at least 3 of 6. And then you complete required surveys that ask for feedback or asks you to share your progress in advancing in the certificate or reflect every semester. And occasionally we have additional skill building, lunch and learns, and socials. And our next one will be in October. And again, it's optional, but highly encouraged for you to build community and meet those of us who are on the advisory board. So what are the added perks and opportunities for CIPG students that are only available to CIPG or you're more likely to get if you're a CIPG student? So first, Innovate Carolina, which is the university's Office for Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Economic Development, offers design thinking fellow positions. We often have 2 to 4 staffed at a time. And so this one is a really cool opportunity where grad students who are part of CIPG get to lead and contribute to design thinking projects with clients internal and external to UNC. So this is great after you've taken the required design thinking course and are looking to actually build a portfolio of work to demonstrate your competency and skill in this space. And so we currently have 3 fellows. And so Kyle, Ashka, and Jack are all part of CIPG and would probably welcome any questions and about their experience with that. And then the other plug we make is we do prioritize CIPG students for the teaching assistantships that we offer in association with HBEH or Policy 748. And so that is the typical course that students take to fulfill their design thinking requirement for their certificate. And this is a highly competitive and coveted opportunity because the TA-ship does come with a stipend, in-state tuition at the academic affairs rate, health insurance, and a portion of student fees. And the course runs every fall and every spring. Other additional perks, right now, our office is located for Innovate Carolina at 136 East Rosemary Street. And it's the big, tall space next to across the street from the new Chapel Hill parking deck. And it's beautiful and has a lot of light and a lot of co-working space. So if you want to sit between classes and get some work done or meet some friends to do some project work, great. CIPG students are able to access the space as affiliated members from Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. without a paid membership. Otherwise, even if you were a student but not affiliated with CIPG or an Innovate Carolina program, would have to pay a membership fee. And then lastly, this is exciting and new. We are working with Underground Printing to launch a pop-up shop so that we can sell CIPG branded gear for the fall. So that will include sweatshirts, zip-up hoodies, t-shirts, and long sleeve tees. So I'll go through a couple of the FAQs and then end with an opportunity for others to ask any questions that we haven't yet addressed. So the first question that often gets asked is, how long does it take to complete the certificate program? Well, each of your grad programs is different, and you might hear about the certificate at different times. And so that is totally fine. And so we've designed the certificate so that if you are able to complete the requirements in terms of the nine credits and the co-curricular responsibilities, you can earn it even if you are in your going into your final semester of grad school. So again, some of our students apply in the spring and they are graduating in May. It's tight, but it's possible that they've already taken one class before they apply and just need to take 1 or 2 more. And they'll just do all the co-curricular responsibilities as well. Other students hear about us very early and they're here for 4 or 5 years. And so Kyle, for example, is in year 5 with us in the certificate. And so she's been able to serve as a fellow for 3 years and has been promoted to our innovation manager. So hopefully that answers that question. Second, can a student apply the same course credits towards CIPG in their degree credentials? So the answer here is CIPG allows that to happen, that you can double count your degree credits towards CIPG, but this is dependent on your home and primary degree. So most degrees say that it's fine, but this is something that we endorse and encourage, but the ultimate decision lies with your degree program. 3, how will you decide which students to accept? Great question. We've just opened up our application portal September 1st, and it will close September 15th. And after the applications come in, they are processed by a member of our admin team, and then 2 advisory board members will review, and we have a rubric that we use to score. And then we come together to make final decisions so that you all will receive decisions about whether you are accepted or not by the end of the month or October 1st. So it's fast, but we do have a process internally where we have 2 advisory board members review each application. Question number 4, can I take courses for CIPG credit other than those listed on the website? So if you go to the website, you'll see that there's a pretty long list of courses that we've counted towards the 2 buckets of innovation methods and tools and best practices, and then social innovation and practice. But of course, there's always new courses that are being added, or CIPG students are taking courses that other students have not yet heard of. And so we do have a process for submitting the course syllabi for consideration by our advisory board as to whether that course that you've found on your own meets CIPG requirements and aligns with the learning objectives of the certificate. And so the responsibility is on the student to be able to put forth that case and show the syllabus and the assignments and how it maps onto certificate objectives for that to be approved. And then the last question is, how is a certificate similar and different from others? So many of you may know, or maybe you don't, the graduate school does currently limit the number of certificates that you can get at Carolina, and so it is 1. So for those of you who are thinking about other certificates that are related, we do have this side-by-side comparison for ours. So innovation for the public good compared to improvement science and implementation, and then participatory research. And so you can see in terms of the courses, they vary in terms of topic and credits, and then their added responsibilities and requirements also vary. And so this is in the slide deck, and the recording will be posted. So if you need to come back to this at a later time to look at it, you're more than welcome to do that. And then again, contact the people listed at the bottom if you have further questions, especially about the other 2 certificates. All right, so CIPG application is now open, and decisions will be going out by 10/1. And again, we'll have both orientation and a social, hopefully, in October, so that you can meet the other CIPG students who are admitted in your cohort and our current ones, as well as our advisory board members. And Melissa Edwards, if you could put the link to our website in the chat, that would be great, so that is the one-stop shop with everything that you might want to know about our certificate. And then also there's a link there to go and apply. So at this point, we will transition to questions. So I'll stop sharing so I can see the tiles and see what questions folks might have that we can answer. Questions, big or small?
Hey, I had a question about how many folks are accepted in each year's cohort of certificate members.
Yeah, great question, Keegan. I will say that we to date have been very inclusive in trying to get as many students into the certificate as possible. So we have accepted most applicants. We probably are at a point now where we, depending on the numbers, will need to consider how many seats we have available, especially in our core courses. To like, I think if 150 students applied this year, like we've to date usually accepted between 20 and 30 students max each time we've opened an application, with the fall being a more popular time to apply than the spring. So that means that if everybody needs to take the required design thinking course, whether it's 748 or the one in education, we need to have enough seats for that. So I think that we'd probably stay in that 30 to 40 space. And so we, again, are trying to be as inclusive as possible because we think that this is a great skill set for grad students to learn. But we have yet to see how many students apply for this cycle. So I'm hoping that that gives you somewhere to draw from.
Definitely, thank you.
Okay.
And also, is there a sorry, yeah, is there like an alumni network too? Folks that have gone through the certificate?
So great question. So it's on our priority list. So with our attempt to do an initial alumni survey, we are trying to also create at least a LinkedIn group for our CIPG alums so that everybody can be in one space and then we can more easily connect with them. We have some ideas for how we can build out mentorship opportunities for alums to current students, but that is again something that we are going to need to build out with input from you all. So more to come on that. Alex.
Hi, I had a question. Oh, just kidding. Oh,
Alex.
sorry. I can
Yeah.
go. Oh, yeah. I was wondering if you apply in the fall and then like don't get in, can you reapply in the spring and can you like start taking the classes now?
Great question. So yes, if you don't get in now, you can certainly reapply in a future semester. And yes, you can start taking classes now. So that is typically what happens for some of our students who apply to us late. They've actually already taken one or more classes and realized that they would like to be officially recognized as a certificate member and fulfill the remaining requirements. And so as long as you will not get priority into some of those classes until you are a CIPG student, but if you get into those classes on your own, totally fine.
That was gonna be my question was I know we had discussed like the health behaviors 748 class and it conflicting with a like course class that I was like already signed up for. If you're not enrolled in that, like probably going to be most likely enrolled in spring, does that like affect your chances of getting into the program between that window of the 1st through the 14th?
Nope.
Like getting your name in the ring?
No, it shouldn't.
Okay. Thank you. Like no one's showing their camera.
Liz, I'm so sorry. I have to jump off in just a minute, but I got a question as a private chat question, which I think is a good question for everyone, which is whether the certificate is open to online students that are in, for example, the MPH at UNC program. And I think I know the answer, but deferring to you.
Yeah, my understanding is that for MPH at UNC students that you would not be able to apply for the certificate program, unfortunately. I think that there's a good question as to whether you would be able to pay additional tuition as a non-degree seeking student on top of your tuition for MPH at UNC, but unfortunately, that is something that we have run into in the past. So if you are interested still in our MPH at UNC students and are willing to pay out of pocket or have your employer pay out of pocket, I'm happy to go down that path with you and explore that option. But we've asked this of academic coordinators several times now and have been told consistently that MPH at UNC, because of the way that your tuition is collected and your courses are structured, are not eligible.
Would the same apply for the online MPA students? My advisor actually recommended that I sit in on this, but sounds like that may not be possible.
It's a great question. I think that each of the online programs is handled a bit differently. So I think it's worth exploring. We've not been asked that question yet.
How are you?
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, we can end like the whole group Q&A and I'll stop the recording. And if folks have individual questions, Dan and I can field those. Dan is in the Department of Public Policy and is CIPG director for the next couple of years. And I am the outgoing director and on the advisory board now. And so we're happy to stay and chat. So we're excited to see such broad interest across so many disciplines this year and hope that many of you consider applying. Please email cipg@unc.edu if you have any questions. And we look forward to reviewing your apps in a few short weeks. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.